So we're going to start folding, and this is my little banner, and it's kind of fun. You could put a little, like, would be cute maybe, it's just like a little banner with letters or words. You can hang it in your laundry room, just for fun, hang it somewhere. It's just kind of fun. So these are those little mini clotheslines and some baker's twine. And I'm going to fold, and we're going to fold several. So I'll start with this blue one because I think that's so cute. It's got like a pearlescent on one side, and it's patterned on the other. So whatever paper you do have with you, even if it's 6-inch, that's fine. Yeah, but the littler sizes make it much cuter. So if you wanted to cut your papers down, if you have a 6-inch, cut it down to 4.5 square, or even a 4-inch square. I even made some out of a little smaller, but they're cuter when they're small. But for teaching and for learning, it's good to start with a bigger size. So the first thing we're going to do, this is such an easy fold. We're going to take, if you decide which, however you want your paper to be oriented, like these hearts, I want them straight. I want them facing up, and I want them in the correct direction. Got vowels coming in. So you can determine, so if you have paper that has a certain direction you want to go, like stripes or something, just make sure your stripes are facing up. And so high vowel, we're just getting started. Just a square sheet of paper, whatever you have. If you have a 6-inch square, or this is 4 5/8, but any size is fine. We're making these adorable little sundresses, and you need a pair of scissors. I forgot to tell you. Another thing you'll need is, if you have a little glue, like a glue stick, and little scissors. We're going to do one little cut, no big deal. It's optional, but I want to show you that so you can make them different. So you just have those next to you, and we'll start with the color facing down. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold it in half in one direction. So you can see the hearts are in the right direction. Just going to fold it in half, opening it up, and we're going to cupboard fold to the center on both sides. And cupboard fold right to that center on both sides. So now we've got this. And now we're going to make the little collar section. Right now we're going to make the collar section, and it depends on how deep you want the collar. Do you want it plunging? Do you want a little more modest neckline? I'm going to just fold it in a little corner, kind of at an angle like this, and I'm going to do it on the other side exactly the same. So that little fold is about an inch and maybe an inch and an eighth, and like it plunges at about an inch and an eighth at least. You can make something like that, just a little cute little collar area. And then you're going to take to make your sleeves, you're going to make the fold. You're going to fold it backwards, kind of lining up with that collar, but leaving a little bit of space showing. So you can see I have this on this side, and do the same thing on the other side. And it's good to just eyeball it so you can kind of see where the angle is. And you want just that, you want that fold to be parallel to the collar edge right at the top. So, and I made mine a little bit long. You can see I've kind of made it too long. So I'm going to turn it over and kind of look at it a little bit and just recrease it so that both of these folds are the same in size. They're just little corner folds. So I've got them close to being the same, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it's not an exact thing. Clothing can be slightly off. So I've just created, there we go, like that. So there you've got these little sides are folded. This is the time when I like to fold it. I like to put a little glue on it, just a touch of glue on the tips of the collar, just so that they'll stay flat. Or not the collar, the shoulder area or the sleeves. Just a little bit of glue just to secure that. It's not necessary, but it's nice, especially if you're going to lay it flat to put on a card or something like that, then you'd want it to just lay flat. So now I've got it glued, and now I've got the little collar here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to decide if you want it to be a mini skirt with a long waist or short waist like an umpire. This is all up to you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it about I don't know how high this is. I'm just folding it so that it's about an inch from the inch and a quarter or inch and a half from the bottom or from this top edge. So this part here is just going to, I'll fold it right to this place. Now, each time I never fold them the same, but you can see that's about, there's about a, in my size paper, that's about an inch and a quarter, but maybe in a 6-inch sheet, it will be inch and a half or so. So you just fold it like this, okay? So what you do now is you pick it up, and what you have is this mountain fold. And I'm going to take that mountain fold and I'm going to pinch it just a little, ever so small. I'm going to make about an 1/8 inch fold. And the way I'm doing this, I'm pinching it, and then I'm just going to press it down right over. Basically, I'm making a Z fold, and you can see on this side, I've kind of created a Z, little small Z. It's a very, very little. It's about 1/8 of an inch. So you've got, so you want this crease, this crease to hang over, and you want this crease to go this direction, and this crease will be coming in this direction. So that's that. So mine's going to have a longer skirt and a little short top, and it's this is what's fun. We'll make another one, and we'll do different variations. So I'm just going to turn it over, and what we want to do is narrow the sides. Now this is always a tricky thing. It's kind of I don't really know how to explain it, how to do it, but what you do is you just gently, maybe take it's about 1/8 of an inch, and I'm just taking the whole layer, just taking the whole thing, and I'm going to lay it, I'm going to take my finger and I'm just pressing, but I'm also going to press it, and I'm going to just let these curve at an angle. And I don't know if you can see that, but you can see that I just made a little waist. I'm going to do it again on the other side. And if I have to do a magnifying glass close-up, I will do that for you. So you narrow it, you just take the whole that thick Z fold, and just take it and press it, and then angle it out on both sides just a little bit. So you're narrowing the waistline. And if you can see that, I don't know if I can, there we go. I hope you can see that. And if you can't, we'll do it another one, and I'll make it a little different. So there is my shift. Now, I didn't make the waist very narrow, and I'll have another way to do this. So this is really cute just by itself. It's very modest. It kind of reminds me of like a little sundress. What you could do if you want to, this is optional, but you can take your scissors and cut right in the middle up to the V, where the V neck ends, right in here, the plunge. And then you're just going to fold these little pieces of these little sections backwards on both sides, just right over what the last piece here. And now now you have a nice little much more summery looking. And that's a variation that I didn't see in the tournament. I don't even know who the designer of this is, but it was just a little variation I thought would be nice. So I'm going to just take a little glue just to hold that down. You don't have to glue, but a little glue helps just to hold it down. Okay, so that dress is done. So I'm going to do another one, and I'll show you just how different they can look just by the way you make this little fold here, how deep you make this fold. There's a lot of different variables. So this is number one. So now I'm going to take, I think purple is pretty. I'm going to take this purple star dress, or purple star with purple pearl on the other side. And however you want to do it, if you want to have just a trim collar that has pattern on it, it's up to you. So you just start with whatever side is going to be your collar, that's going to be facing you. So I'm just going to fold it in half. See how easy this is? I mean, there's so few steps. I'm going to count the steps. This is first step. I think it's less than 10 steps. I really do. We open it up, and we have the step 2, which is cupboard fold to the center. And then we make our collars. And this time I could make my collar a little deeper. I can just make it a little longer, just at that angle. A nice plunge going on here. So this is a lot longer than you can see. It's longer than the other one. And now I'm going to take this part, and I'm going to fold it about the same distance, maybe a little bit closer to this top edge, just to try it out and see how it looks. And now I'm going to open it up, and I have the mountain part facing me. This is probably the easiest way. Just pinch that mountain, and then make it a little bit bigger than the last one. I'm going to do more like it's about 1/4 of an inch of a Z of a pinch. So this is going to be a little deeper. You see how it's a little deeper than the last one. The last one was about 1/8 of an inch. That's about 1/4. So you can see it's just a little deeper. Fold that, and just, you can see that this folded edge should be laying over, and then turn it over. And let's try doing this, narrowing the edge, narrowing it. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm just going to kind of I'm picking up my, and this is much easier to do if I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to just create a fold. Now, how do I explain this? I wish there was a descriptive word. So I'm taking this and I'm pushing this whole thing over, and I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to collapse it once I get it narrowed the way I like it. There we go. I've got it collapsed this way so you can see how that edge looks. Okay. Now I want to repeat the same thing. This is going to be a much more narrow waist. If you can see the difference, this one had a very tiny fold that's about 1/8 of an inch, and that's about 1/4 of an inch. So basically the depth of your Z fold that's in here will determine the waistline. So now I'm going to fold this again, and I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm taking the whole thing, kind of pinch it over, and I'm going to try to make it match that angle on this side. And then just press down, and there I have it. So now I'm going to turn it over, and so you can see what a difference this one is already, just by the way just the shape of it. Now you can cut here if you want, cut it. That's a plunging neckline. Oh, and I haven't done the shoulders yet. That's one difference. The thing about this fold, it's so neat. Here, I'm going to fold these back, is that you can now decide, okay, how do I want these angles? This time, I'm folding these a little just to meet. I'm folding them back just to go meet right at that collar edge this time, just to see how it looks. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to fold this back right at that collar edge, the same angle, at the same angle as the one on the other side. So now I have a beautiful little dress, a little sundress. And this one, I think it'd be fun to take a little corner of my front pleat part, and I'm going to make a little pleat, and I'm going to open it up. It looks so cute when you have double-sided paper. And so that's this one here. Well, these are now we can do an umpire. I'll do a third one. So just to show you the differences. So let's do a dots one, a polka dot one. Maybe a yellow polka dot, because it's so pretty on the other side. A yellow polka dot dress would be really cute with these, and then I could hang them up. So now, same thing, we're going to fold the paper in half and open it up, cupboard fold it to the center crease, and there we go. And now take your collar, make just however you want to do it. Let's see, we can do a little short collar this time. Let's see what happens. Just a little tiny little corner. We'll do a more modest neckline. So now I've got a little short one. And now I'm going to take this, turn it over, and I'm going to I'm going to make it kind of an umpire waist this time. So I'm going to make it like about 1/3. I've got about divided it into 3s pretty much. So I'm having a long edge here. Here's this distance between the collar and this bottom hem. And so this is a lot shorter of a waistline than what I had original. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to make that Z fold. And I'm going to do it about 1/4 or 1/8. It doesn't, anything, whatever you want to do, but it sort of naturally just does it. Just a very small little Z fold. And I'm going to I'll do these little edges. This time, maybe at a longer angle, just to see. I'm gonna kind of do a longer angle, and I want to do it on both sides. This time the angle is elongated. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Just make it match on both sides, and then it should look okay. There we go. So I've got like a little, just a different look. I've never done this one before, but there's so many variations that you could do. So you can see now it looks more like this. It's got a different shoulder and arm, longer. It's more like dolman sleeve. I don't know if that's the right word. I'm not a seamstress, but sleeves that have the longer armholes. Now I'm going to turn it over, and we're going to narrow the edge, the sides. Just taking that whole section. It's thick, but just folding it and then angling it out. Just make an angle going out, so you have this fold here, and then it just angles out quickly out to the edge. So it's like a little, I wonder if I could show you on a piece of paper, because you could see this a little more clearly. There, like this. So I think you can probably see it better. I don't know. It's such a little guy. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm just going to fold it over and do the same exact angle. Try to repeat the angle that I just did, and just kind of angle it, press it. And once you get that angle, then go ahead and confirm the crease. Now let's see what that looks like. Oh, that's cute. I like that one. And now I'm just going to take these scissors and fold these little corners backwards. And now, that's so cute. I like that one a lot. That one is actually my favorite, the little umpire dress. So you can see, just by little variation in folds, I think this one would be really cute, flared out too, like this. Just to show off a little bit of that pretty pearlescent color on the inside. And I think if I could open up both sides, or there's probably other ways we could make this, like pleating it ahead of time. It might be fun. But there's so many variations. You can actually do a little tiny small, like this maybe, like that. Like a little kick pleat. I guess that's the word. Wish my sewing people were here. But I want to that's it. That's how easy it is.